Most men over 60 are told that waking up hard is just a thing of the past. But what if that belief is wrong and the real issue isn't age, testosterone, or pills? What if it's poor circulation and nerve signaling you've never been taught to activate? Today I'll show you why many men lose morning energy and firmness, and how 2 overlooked pressure points on your manhood may help restore natural response, sleep quality, and confidence. I'm Dr. Barbara O'Neill, with decades of experience guiding men toward natural vitality. Tell me where you're watching from, and gently like and subscribe for more. Let's begin with something most doctors don't talk about enough. Why does morning firmness fade after 60, even in men who still feel desire? The truth is, it's not a simple switch that flips off with age. It's a series of small biological changes that creep in quietly, often starting in your late 50s or early 60s. And the good news is, once you understand them, you can work with your body, not against it, to bring back what feels lost. First, let's talk blood flow. In younger men, blood vessels are flexible, responsive, and open wide at night thanks to deep, restful sleep. That surge of blood is what creates firmness, even without any direct stimulation. But as you age, those blood vessels become less elastic. Tiny plaques build up, circulation slows, especially to areas farthest from the heart, like your hands, feet, and yes, your manhood. It's not about a lack of desire, it's about reduced delivery. Now here's something most people never consider: nerves. Think of nerves as the messengers between your brain and your body. When you were younger, those messages fired quickly and clearly. But after 60, nerve endings become less sensitive, especially if you've had diabetes, back issues, or even just long-term sitting. That means the signal to wake up in the morning gets weaker, less intense, less consistent. Then there's sleep. You might not realize it, but morning firmness is closely tied to REM sleep. That's the deep dreaming stage when your brain resets and your hormones rebalance. It's also when your body naturally tests your blood flow system, kind of like a built-in diagnostic. But if you're waking up often to pee, tossing and turning, or dealing with sleep apnea, you're not hitting those vital REM cycles. And without REM, there's no signal and no response. I know this can feel deeply frustrating. Many men over 60 carry this silently, thinking they've somehow failed or lost part of themselves. You might even feel ashamed or disconnected from your partner. But I want to tell you something important. This is not a reflection of your manhood or your worth. It's biology, and biology can be supported. So let's begin there. One simple thing you can do, starting tonight, is a 5-minute warm towel compress just below the belly button before bed. It sounds simple, but this increases localized blood flow, relaxes pelvic tension, and prepares your body for deeper sleep. It's a small habit that gently opens the door for what we'll explore next, because in the next chapter we'll go deeper into how your nerves and blood vessels actually talk to each other, and why most men miss the early signals their body sends. Most men think testosterone is the key to staying firm and energized, but that's only part of the story. In fact, many men over 60 still have reasonable testosterone levels and yet struggle with inconsistent or weak morning responses. Why? Because the real gatekeepers of your performance and morning vitality are your nerves and blood vessels, and the way they communicate. Let me explain it simply. Your body's ability to create firmness depends on a 2-part process. First, your nerves send a signal from your brain and spine down to your pelvic area. Then your blood vessels respond to that signal by opening up and allowing blood to rush in. But if the signal is weak, or if the response is delayed, nothing happens. It's like pressing a doorbell with a worn-out wire. You push the button, but the chime doesn't ring. As we age, both of these systems slow down. Nerves become less responsive, especially if you've had chronic inflammation, blood sugar issues, or even just years of poor posture and muscle tension in your hips and lower back. At the same time, the small arteries feeding the pelvic region start to narrow. That double effect, dull signals and sluggish blood flow, creates a perfect storm. You want to respond, but your body doesn't get the message clearly. You might have noticed this in other ways too: slower reaction times, tingling feet, or a delayed sensation when touching warm or cold surfaces. These are signs your nerve sensitivity has dulled over time. But here's the good news: nerves, like muscles, can be stimulated and trained. They just need the right kind of attention. One simple way to support your nerve pathways daily is with gentle pelvic floor stretching. Most men never think about these muscles, but they're essential for circulation, nerve flow, and control. Sit on the edge of a firm chair, place your feet flat, and slowly lean forward while keeping your back straight. Breathe deeply. You'll feel a light pull across your lower abdomen and inner thighs. That stretch opens space around the nerves and soft tissue, easing compression and inviting better signal flow. Do this for 2 to 3 minutes every morning and evening. It's subtle but powerful. I've had men tell me they felt a subtle shift within a week: slightly more sensation, better sleep, even a return of mild morning response. That's your body remembering how to listen. And in the next chapter, we'll get even more specific. I'm going to show you the first of 2 pressure points most men overlook. One that directly taps into the nerve bundle responsible for pelvic awareness and arousal. This is where dormant signals start to wake up. Let's talk about something most men over 60 have never been shown: how to work with your own body, not against it, to restore firmness and energy in the morning. The truth is, your pelvic region is rich with pressure points, tiny gateways that influence blood flow, nerve sensitivity, and hormonal signals. But there's one in particular that's often ignored, yet deeply connected to morning performance: the perineal point. Now, I know some of you might feel hesitant even hearing that. For many men, especially those raised to avoid talking about their bodies, self-care in this area can feel uncomfortable or even taboo. But I want you to know this isn't about shame. This is about restoring function, dignity, and confidence using the natural design of your own body. You're not broken. You've just never been taught how to support what's been slowly fading. The perineum is the soft area between the base of your scrotum and your anus. Underneath that skin lies a powerful nerve and vascular junction, where blood vessels meet a major branch of the pudendal nerve. Think of it like a control panel for your pelvic region. When gently stimulated, this area can help increase circulation, lower muscular tension, and wake up the neural feedback loop between your brain and your manhood. Many cultures have used this spot for centuries in pressure therapy and acupuncture, but Western medicine has only recently begun to appreciate its power. And for men over 60, where blood flow has slowed and nerve signals have dulled, activating this point can make a real difference. Here's what to do. In a seated or reclined position, take 3 fingers and gently apply slow, steady pressure to the perineal area. Don't poke or press hard. You're not trying to force anything, just connect. Breathe deeply and hold that pressure for 60 to 90 seconds. As you exhale, imagine tension melting downward, away from your core. Many men notice a subtle warmth or tingling. This is circulation improving and nerves beginning to respond. This isn't a quick fix, but done daily, it can help restore natural patterns of blood flow and sensitivity. And remember, you're doing this not for arousal, but for circulation and nerve support, just like you'd stretch a stiff shoulder or massage a tight calf. One man I worked with called this practice his reset button. After 3 weeks, he started waking up with more sensation and even occasional firmness that hadn't shown up in years. And we're only halfway there, because in the next chapter, I'll show you a second pressure point, one that when used together with the perineum can amplify your results and help restore the morning energy and confidence you thought was gone for good. Now that you've learned how powerful the perineal point can be, let me introduce the second pressure point, the one that truly completes the circuit. When used together, these 2 points form a natural pathway to restore firmness, energy, and even sleep quality for men over 60. I've seen men who felt completely shut down start to notice subtle shifts within days because the body remembers how to respond when given the right signals. This second point is located just above your pubic bone in the soft area below your belly button, about 2 finger widths down. This region is known as the lower dantian in Eastern medicine, but biologically it sits directly over a plexus of nerves and blood vessels that supply the pelvic organs. It's a command center for circulation and relaxation, especially in the nighttime hours when your body does its deep repair work. Here's the simple truth. Tension in this lower abdominal area can restrict both blood flow and nerve signaling. Many men unknowingly carry years of stored tightness here, whether from stress, poor posture, digestion issues, or even holding in their gut. That tightness blocks the flow that's needed for morning response. To activate this point, lie back or stand in a relaxed position. Take your fingertips and gently press into the area 2 finger widths below your belly button. You don't need to dig, just use light, steady pressure. Breathe in slowly through your nose, and as you exhale, press gently inward and slightly downward. Hold for about 30 seconds while continuing deep breaths. Then release and rest your hands at your sides. That's it, just 30 seconds. You can repeat it twice, morning and night. What this does is relax the fascia and muscles that surround the pelvic basin, allowing freer blood movement and improving nerve sensitivity. It's also incredibly calming to the nervous system. Many men report better sleep and fewer middle-of-the-night wake-ups just from this one practice. But here's the key: consistency beats intensity. You don't need to press hard. In fact, forcing it can create more tension. What your body needs is gentle, repeated reassurance. That's how nerves relearn and vessels reopen, through soft, regular input. Just like water smoothing a stone, these micro movements add up. I recommend combining both points into a simple 2-minute routine. Start with the perineum while seated or reclined, then move to the lower belly. Breathe slowly, stay present, and remind yourself this is healing work, not performance. And once you've done this for a few days, something surprising often happens. Your body begins to respond on its own. You'll feel warmer, more rested, and sometimes you'll wake up with a firmness you haven't seen in years. In the next chapter, I'll show you how to lock in these results with one powerful daily habit, something men over 60 can do without changing their entire lifestyle. Now that you've learned how to activate the body's natural signals through those 2 pressure points, let's talk about how to support and sustain those results with your daily habits. Because while the points act like ignition switches, your lifestyle is the fuel. And for men over 60, the quality of that fuel becomes more important than ever. The 3 pillars that directly influence your firmness, energy, and sleep are sleep quality, stress levels, and nutrition. Let's start with sleep. As I mentioned earlier, morning response is deeply tied to REM cycles. If you're waking up multiple times a night, whether to use the bathroom, from snoring, or due to anxious thoughts, you're likely missing the deep restorative phases your body depends on to reset hormonal rhythms and nerve sensitivity. Here's one habit you can start tonight that makes a real difference: a warm foot soak before bed. It may sound simple, but soaking your feet in warm water for 10 to 15 minutes activates your parasympathetic nervous system, your body's rest and restore mode. It lowers cortisol, improves circulation from the feet upward, and helps redirect blood flow away from your brain toward your core and pelvis, preparing the body for deeper sleep. Add a pinch of Epsom salt, and you'll get a magnesium boost, which further relaxes muscles and nerves. Combine that with the pressure point routine, and you've created the ideal environment for your body to do what it's designed to do, restore itself overnight. Next is stress. Chronic stress is one of the most overlooked causes of diminished morning response. High cortisol levels constrict blood vessels and blunt nerve signaling. And here's the truth. Your body doesn't know the difference between being chased by a wild animal and stressing over finances, loneliness, or health fears. The response is the same. Shut down non-essential systems, including sexual function. That's why men who practice daily relaxation, even just 5 minutes of deep breathing, light stretching, or silent prayer, tend to experience better outcomes. It's not about meditating on a mountain. It's about giving your nervous system permission to soften. Lastly, nutrition. A diet rich in leafy greens, healthy fats, and deeply pigmented fruits can naturally support blood flow and nerve health. If it grows from the earth and colors your plate, it's likely helping your vessels and your energy. But here's what I want you to remember. This is not about quick fixes or chasing youth. It's about long-term vitality. You're not just trying to wake up with firmness, you're rebuilding trust with your body. And that's something any man at any age can do. Because in the final message, I want to remind you what so many forget. You haven't missed your chance. You've just been missing the right tools. And now that you have them, everything can begin to change. Let me leave you with this. Your body is not broken. It's simply been waiting for the right signals. What you may have thought was lost forever, firmness, energy, even confidence, is often just hidden beneath layers of stress, tension, and forgotten habits. Aging does not mean decline. It means learning to work with your body, not against it. These simple daily practices, pressure points, relaxation, better sleep, are not gimmicks. They're how your body heals, rebuilds, and responds naturally over time. Don't worry about being perfect. Just be consistent. That's where real change begins. I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts or progress in the comments. Let's build a community of men who choose strength, not silence, as we age. Because your best years aren't behind you, they're shaped by the choices you make right now, one small step at a time. Keep going. You're not alone.